Hello, welcome back everyone to another episode of the Clymire podcast. On episode 3 of wave 2 of the Clymire podcast, my high school history. So I know guys, it's been a pretty long time since I last uploaded the last episode. It's been a couple of weeks and as most of you could see on the episode I uploaded on the Facebook page, it's been because of I moved to a new place. I got a new apartment. It's been really busy. These past few weeks I've been really busy in work in work specifically. It's been doing a lot of extra time, overtime, and it's every day it's a new hassle. It's been pretty difficult. It's been pretty stressful, and just living through each day. So I just finally had some available time to actually dedicate the time that is needed for the podcast show and for this episode, which I'm really excited about. Sharing with you guys a little bit about my my past history with in the in my school environment. My education, how I came to how I came to be in this world of ours. And so I think pretty much most of us, if not to say everyone, we get the opportunity to actually go to school, whether it's primary or secondary. Most people don't have the luxury to actually attend to secondary or superior institutional education. But most of us should at least go to the point of reaching kindergarten, first grade, maybe the third grade. Anyways, that's not most of us have that opportunity, that privilege to actually attend to school, attend to a higher level of education. It's not that if you don't, it doesn't mean you're gonna you know have harder chances of achieving anything in life, but it's not really related to the matter. Because I personally don't think success is related to how smart you are or how many titles you have or how many diplomas you have. It's not, because I know a lot of people who've only done primary education and have acquired success in life, have obtained businesses, have actually know what financial education is. And my best example is my mom. She never attended higher education, and she managed to actually have an ongoing business. She actually learned what financial education was on her own, through struggles, through attempts. You fail, you get up, you keep going at it, keep going at life, and most people, they get the idea, they get they they know how it works. It all depends on your determination, on how far you're actually willing to go in life. But anyways, aside from that, my education, first grade, no, kindergarten. I gotta be honest with everyone. I never graduated from kindergarten. And let me tell you why I have never graduated from kindergarten. I shouldn't even have had the opportunity to go to, higher levels, since I never even graduated from kindergarten. It's because it was at a moment, difficult time in my family, my mom. She was going through financially, and I was attending kindergarten in a private school, which was named Methodist, the Methodist school in Roatan. And since my mom was past due on some payments, I was never um, allowed to actually graduate officially from kindergarten. There wasn't a ceremony, no diploma, no nothing. But anyways, I don't remember much after that. Just know that I went to first grade without actually graduating, as far as I'm concerned, how we were supposed to do so. But then I went to first grade, same school, Methodist. Um, it was back around there when my father was still alive. Mr. Captain Terry Clymire. He was still with us at the time. I was back in first grade, and don't remember much about first grade other than the fact that most of my classmates um, we weren't really like a big united group to say so. But anyways, on second grade, I attended second grade on a public school. My father had passed away. My mom and me and my little brother, we moved to another house, and there wasn't money to keep attending on that school, and on that year I had to attend a public school, which was pretty far away from where we lived. And the only two things that I can remember from second grade were the first time that the bus actually left me, and I pretty much walked about 5 miles until I finally decided to, get in a cab. So I got in a cab, and back then I did not realize that you actually had to pay money, real money, for the service of a cab driver. Because I never paid attention at the moment, the precise moment when somebody paid the cab driver for the service of moving from one place to another. So I decided to get in a cab, and my thoughts were that I was just gonna get on. He was gonna take me to where I'm supposed to go, and then I'm just gonna get off and not worry about paying the guy. And that's what I did. A second grader. I'm like, how old was I? I was like 8 years old, and I just got out of the cab and started walking home. And the guy looked back, and the guy was still there. He was just parked. He was like just looking at me like, he's like, what the fuck? And I was like, was I supposed to pay this guy? But anyways, that's pretty much the only thing I can remember from second grade. Yeah, he never chased me back. He's like, screw it, just a little kid needed probably a ride home, whatever. Anyway, so he never followed me, thank God. Don't do that at this. Don't do that. Okay, that's just not the right thing to do. But get in a cab and just get out without paying the guy. It's not gonna go. It's not gonna go smooth. Anyways, third grade, I went back to Methodist again. Yes, it was back to Methodist. My mom had pretty much gotten a little bit more stable economically, to say so. And she decided to put me back in Methodist, and nothing changed really. Still the same old classmates that I had in Methodist. Now out of Methodist, the on third grade, the only thing I can remember was actually moving my baby tooth. I I moved my baby tooth and got my adult teeth coming out. And I used to, what else? No, I think that was just about it. And I pretty much forgot about some habits that I used to have with my fingers, and that's pretty much it with third grade. Then I went back to a public school for fourth and fifth grade. This was a different public school from the one from second grade. Now on this public school for fourth and fifth grade, it was actually just 2 blocks away from where we lived, and pretty much that's why my mom decided to move me back to the public school, to save us the money, and also because it was much closer to home. And she didn't really mind or believe that it made a difference between public or private. All she really wanted was for her kids to actually learn to speak English, which we already did. It's just that we spoke the island English, which is a little bit different, has a little bit different words, and pretty much the most thing that defines the island English is the accent. The accent is way, 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 way more different than the normal English, and that's why she pretty much wanted us to go back to private school. Later on, just to master the American English, the normal English, in order for us to actually communicate with people from the outside, not just with us, the locals. And but yeah, fourth and fifth grade were hell of years. Those were the years where I was bullied the most. Years where I was, um, I just felt like outside of the box. Like I did not really know what was I doing. What was the point of it all? It just made no sense. Um, Never really made any good friends back in fourth and fifth grade. All those friends were like really shitty friends, so I lost contact with them from there on. That were was not even interested in keeping the communication. Just weren't really friend valuable. Anyways, public school was it's a way different level than what you can find in a private school. There's a lot of more bullying. There's a lot of more on like treatment. The treatment is much worse, uh, student wise and teacher wise. Um, I don't know. It's just that way. I didn't really like it. Don't really remember much from it other than the fact that it was really shitty. It pretty much resumes it all. And then sixth grade. Sixth grade went back to Methodist again. Because we had a little thing with Methodist going on, huh? Anyways, went back to Methodist. It was the same classmates from kindergarten, first grade. Yeah, same old, same old. Most of them were nice. Most of some others weren't. Some others were really, I don't know. Some people just had issues for some reason. Some people had issues with me for some reason. I was always bullied on since I was always the one who looked the weakest, like the weakest prey. And you're always gonna find a shark who's trying to look for the weakest fish on the tank. And I just happened to be that fish. That was me. I was a little kid, a little punching bag that everybody used to just get a go at. Um, but obviously within the years that changed. Okay, that changed back in secondary school. That changed dramatically. Sixth grade, that's where I found my first love. For love at first sight. Oh, wonderful days. Wonderful, wonderful days. But guess what? Back then, I was a little pussy. I didn't have the balls to, confront the girl and tell her I liked her, blah 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 blah. But it happens, human beings. You're gonna reach a point in life where you're gonna find your first love, even though you never have anything with them. You're only just daydreaming about this person, and that was me back in sixth grade. That was me. That was my first time daydreaming, day in and day out. Never, ever, ever said a word to that girl, ever. We graduated, she left, and I never even said hi. That's how shy I was back then. But yeah, then after sixth grade comes seventh grade. On seventh grade, I also went back to Methodist. Things changed because now seventh grade all the way to 11th grade is considered secondary. Now, seventh grade on Methodist was um it was in the evening. Like we used to go in at 1, no, 12. That was like lunchtime, and we used to go out at 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. Can't really remember, but it was almost really late when time to go home was supposed to be. And I on seventh grade I only reached mid of the term of the year when I was obligated to switch from schools due to due to what's this called again? Um, those were my rebellious year. I was really rebellious. Like I didn't used to go to class. I didn't used to actually go to school. Used to skip school. Used to actually go do other things like just walk around um, the town, looking at stores, just buying food, chilling. It wasn't just me; it was me and other two friends of mine. It was just the rebellious years. Didn't really give a damn about school. Didn't really matter. One thing's for sure, I never really had a hard time when it came to school because I didn't really even used to make an effort. Um, like studying and things and homeworks, I never ever had any efforts. Like, I just don't remember ever making an effort for it. It was just easy for me. Like, I wasn't the best at it either, but I, I, I would not fail any classes. I don't even know myself how I passed them. I don't even know how or when I found time to actually, review my notes, study a little bit, and go to exams. I just don't know, don't remember. But it wasn't really hard for me. And yeah, once that happened, when I was meant to leave on, mid year, I went to Children's Palace Bilingual School, which is the school where I restarted seventh grade from scratch and finished it all the way to 11th grade, graduated, and pretty much every one of my classmates from Children's Palace, they became like a family bond to me, like my second family. That's where my real friends were really created. The ones I'm still in touch with today. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I did make some really good friends back in seventh grade in Methodist. Made really three really good friends of mine. I still keep communications with one of them. His name was Carlos, and me and Carlos we still communicate, from time to time. It wasn't until years later that we actually saw each other again. Like back on my graduation night from secondary, I actually met up with Carlos and actually invited him over to the graduation prom. But we never ended up going because of other situations that happened that night. Then I'm gonna be, explicitly um, telling you guys about in the next episode. So pretty much we come really far into this episode right now, 17 minutes and almost 18 minutes. I wasn't intended to go that long. Actually, trying to keep these episodes as short as possible. So I'm gonna leave part two for another episode, which part two is gonna be pretty much talking about the Children's Palace era, like all the way from seventh grade to 11th grade, and then graduation. It's gonna be another episode, which is the next episode that's coming in a couple of days. So just stay tuned, guys, and thank you so much for listening in to the podcast. Have a great days, and thank you, peace, and bye bye.